Namaste. In yet another episode of Naama Geetha, we are going to enjoy the bliss of Sri Krishna's names as it appears in Srimad Bhagavad Gita. As we been traveling in this journey, what we actually realized is Arjuna's state of mind changing from utter confusion to bewilderment to mixed emotions. Now, as we progress towards the last of Bhagavad Gita, you will find a confident, resurgent Arjuna. The important thing is to enjoy the whole state of mind that is being addressed by Sri Krishna himself by giving valid inputs and thereby making Arjuna, in this case a representative of all of us as Jivatma, mentally tougher and stronger with full faith in Sri Krishna. We are now in the 11th chapter, enjoying Sri Krishna's names in different forms, both from Arjuna's experience to Sri Krishna himself saying that he is the Kala Tattva in the last episode that we saw. So it's a varied emotions that we've been enjoying, varied experiences that we are getting thanks to Arjuna. In the 10th chapter, Arjuna asks a lot of questions to Krishna. Sri Krishna also responds as we experience it and the bliss in there. And there Arjuna asks, who are you, Krishna? Are you there everywhere? You say it's omnipresent. How do I know that you're omnipresent? Then Sri Krishna answers, I am there in everything. I am the seed in everything. Literally, I am everything. Parama Purusha, we saw that he is Purushottama. His Atma is superior Atma than all the Atma Purushas of all the Atmas that we can think of. In many things that Krishna explains, establishes that he is the supreme. He also says, in the mountains, I am Meru. In the Ashtavasus, I am the fire. In the Daityas, I am Prahlada. In the Pandavas, I am Arjuna. He tells Arjuna that I am you in amongst the Pandavas. What more benevolence and grace that anybody needs when you are with the Lord, and the Lord says, amongst the people that are you. That's what Krishna says, Arjuna. That among the Pandavas, that I am you, Arjuna. And that gives us an answer why Sri Krishna chooses to ride Arjuna's chariot and not Yudhishthira, who is the eldest within the Pandavas, because that much of love and benevolence Sri Krishna shows towards Arjuna, and that is why he spent so much of times, 700 slokas, to bring Arjuna back to his confidence and his best. So that is what we experienced earlier, and very importantly, in the last episode we saw Sri Krishna clearly mentions, I am Kala Tattva, the time, right, which is the most important learning that we had amongst all the names that we said, because the concept of time is always related to the time that we see on the watch or by the day or year or month, like that. But the tattva, the concept behind time, is very clearly established by none other than Paramatma, the Purushottama Sri Krishna himself, that he is Kala Tattva. All this we enjoyed. Now, what are we going to look at in this episode? Again, we are in the 11th chapter, the Vishwarupa chapter. We are going to look at 37th sloka and 38th sloka of 11th chapter. Two Divya Namas we are going to look at in this episode. One is Adikartre and the other is Purna Pursha. Two Divya Namas we are going to see. Now let us look at the sloka. 11th chapter, 37th sloka and 38th sloka.
Kasmachate nanna meran mahatman Gariyase brahmanopyadikartre Anantadevesha jagannivasa Tvamaksharam sadasatparam yat Tvamadidevah purushah purana Tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam Vetansi vedyam cha param cha dhama Tvaya tatam vishwamanantarupam.
We all experience rains. How does rains come? We get wet in rains, we see from our windows, we know what rains are. And then one day, we just sleep in the afternoon, take a holiday, a weekend, a nap, and then wake up and see it's slightly cloudy, and then we see small puddles of water, and we say, okay, it has rained. And then we tell our child to look at the science book to see how rains are formed and how rains pour. There are three ways in which the knowledge assimilates. When we see rains, it is pratyaksha. We are seeing it firsthand. When we wake up and see a cloudy sky and puddles of water, because we have seen rains earlier, pratyaksha, we are able to infer, anumana, and say, yes, it had rained some time back. And now, through proper text, we tell our child to know how rains are formed and how rains pour. So there are three ways in which our Vedic knowledge is also disseminated. One is Pratyaksha, two is Anumana, the inference, and three the Shabda, reading the Vedas itself to understand what it is. So in three ways we can assimilate what is told in the Vedas and Veda Purusha, Sri Krishna himself. As it happened in this episodes that we saw, Arjuna is seeing Pratyaksha, Krishna along with him from the time he is born, as more a friend, as more as a cousin, and all that he is saying. And then in this last few hours or minutes, when before the start of the war, when Bhagavad Gita is being, Sri Krishna is delivering his teachings, he is seeing Krishna as God, Pratyaksha. He is bewildered. Now, when he is bewildered and all that, you know something is right in front of you, you know it's supreme, but you still not internalized it, you've still not realized it. So in the initial chapters, you see a different mindset of Arjuna, and in the Vishwarupa chapter, when he has seen the Supreme as the God, he is now bewildered and requests Sri Krishna to come back in his original form of four arms. Now he is realized, and you see the way Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna with different names after that, and also begs his forgiveness, saying, I treated you like my charioteer, I've called you his name, I've treated you as a friend, but I realize you are supreme. That words of also, the transformation of Arjuna is also happening, because what he has seen as Pratyaksha, what he is seeing as Anumana in terms of inference, and now he is also heard from Sri Krishna himself, I am Kala Tattva, Lord Sri Krishna says. So he has used the three aspects of assimilation: Pratyaksha, seeing Sri Krishna in person as supreme; Anumana, because of various names that he is called, you are Devavrata, you are Purushottama, everything that he is called, he is known that by inference that he is Krishna, and Sri Krishna himself says that I am Kala Tattva. So he is learning from them through Shabda, through teaching, that this is what Sri Krishna as Paramatma is. So he is using all these things, and now he is addressing in 11th chapter 37th sloka as Adikartre. That means one who is the reason for everything. Adi, on Katre. Adikartre, when he says he is the reason for everything, and Adi is the original Mula of everything, and that is what Arjuna is saying here. And it is an amazing term to use, not at the beginning. Arjuna's transformation is beautifully coming up here when he addresses Sri Krishna by this name, that you are supreme and you are the reason of everything, after seeing it by Pratyaksha, after inferring by various actions, and listening from Sri Krishna himself. It's an amazing bliss for all of us as people who read the Bhagavad Gita, who understand the greatness of Sri Krishna, that here we have transformed, and not just by blind belief or just out of fear, or sometimes we just accept because we don't even know what it is, we just say okay, we accept. But here it is not the case. I have gone through the transformation through Arjuna, I understood what it is, and now I am seeing Sri Krishna as the supreme and the Adikartre, a reason for everything, and that is what Sri Krishna himself says, that I am the seed in everything, I am there in everything. And now he even starts the next sloka. Arjuna says Purna Pursha. Now here there is a reference to the 4th chapter where the same conversation happens in a different context. Hey, Arjuna asks, hey Krishna, I have seen you throughout with me. How come you seem to know a lot of other things than what I know? How come you are able to speak ahead, speak earlier, you can give the root of a lot of things? Now he realizes what he asked the question in 4th chapter, in the 11th chapter, to say you are Purna Purusha. That means you are Nitya Yuva, you can always be young, but you are Purna Purusha. Now when we use the term Purana, let's take a step back and use two important words that we use in our daily lives as Sanatana Dharma followers, that Itihasa and Purana. These two are the important things which govern a lot of our learning from a day-to-day life, because this is what is told by our elders and forefathers. It has come through millions of generations like this. What is Itihasa? Thus it happened. There are two Itihasas, Mahakavyas, Ramayana and Mahabharata, and Puranas. As per Vedic literature, there are 18 Puranas that is available. What is Purana? Pura api nava. It's ancient but relevant for today, which is always new. So that is why Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna as Purna Purusha, that you are ancient because you are Adikartre, but you are Nava. You are able to address to me at this age, and I am sure you are going to be relevant for future generations also. Pura api nava. Who can be more relevant than Sri Krishna himself to be Pura api nava? He is the ancient, he is Param Purusha, he is everything. He is the creator of everything. That means he is Pura. He's Puradana, he's very, very ancient. You can't even date a time for him. And because he himself is the Kala Tattva, he is time himself. So how can you say that he is but from a particular time? He is everything. But is he relevant to us today? Will he be relevant to us tomorrow? Will he be relevant to the next 100 generations, million generations? Yes. That is why Purana Purusha, he is a Purusha who is supreme, and his Purana Purusha is ancient but always relevant to current and future. So that is how Arjuna addresses Sri Krishna as Adikartre, you are everything, in the 37th sloka, and says Purana Purusha in 38th sloka, saying you are so ancient but always relevant at all the time. So this kind of experience, a transformation that we all go through thanks to Arjuna, and actual thanks to Sri Krishna, because he chose Arjuna to say that, we saw that in the last thing, right? Nimitta Karanam Bhavat. That's what he says. Arjuna is a tool not just to fight the war, because Krishna would have finished the war by a flip of a finger, but he wants to use Arjuna's valor to fight the war, and as a tool. Just like that, he has used Arjuna as a tool by giving his Geetha, his teachings, to all of us, so that again there Arjuna is a tool to spread the message to all of us as to how we can handle with full faith in Sri Krishna all our daily confusions and our bewilderment, and become stronger by mind, because the more we have the friendship of Sri Krishna, the more we have the refuge of Sri Krishna, we can be more confident, we can have absolute control in whatever things, because Adikarta is with us. And he is a Purana Purusha. We can learn from him in everything, and all the time we can achieve whatever we want to achieve as long as we are with Krishna and Krishna is with us. So let us pray to Sri Krishna as Adikartra and Purana Purusha and be blessed. Namaste.
Madhava Achyuta Krishna Hare Rishikesha Kesava Govinda Vasudeva Bhagavan Janardana.
குறைஞ்சபட்சம் 20 நொடிகளாவது சோப்பு போட்டு கைகளை கழுவுறத உறுதி செய்யுங்க. நீங்க முழுமையான வைரஸ் நாசினியை பயன்படுத்துறத உறுதி செய்யுங்க. அது சோப்பு.